What's going on, everybody? Sugar and Spice Topics. I wanted to talk about vaping. I actually found an article today that says that the CDC has found a common similarity in the deaths of people who vape. They were doing research to find out what was making these young people die so fast, and they all had the same symptoms. Symptoms such as chest pain, shortness of breath, vomiting, body aches, those types of things. Well, let me just talk to you about the deaths. The recent vaping deaths are bad. The long-term toll will be even worse. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has linked vaping to 1,479 cases of a mysterious lung disease over the last 6 months. At least 33 people have died since the outbreak began. The illness is marked by chest pain, shortness of breath, and vomiting, and it has largely affected young people. The vast majority of cases, almost 80%, involve e-cigarette users younger than 35, and another 15% are younger than 18. Devastating. So in this photo, you see side by sides. On one side, you see someone that is seen to be in a relaxed state on their Apple, whatever that is, laptop or however, Mac, and this person is clouded in vapor smoke. This is actually chemicals. It's not really smoke, it's aerosol, and it's chemicals that attack the lungs. Next to that picture, you see a woman holding a sign that says, "I want to start a no vaping campaign." Well, she's confined to a hospital bed. If anyone has ever been in any kind of situation where you had to be confined like this to a hospital bed, you know how uncomfortable it is, and you can freak out. I know me, when I had suffered migraines at certain times, I would go to the hospital and they would put those IVs in me. Even me, I felt like panicking because it's the fact that I'm stuck on a bed with something in me, and I can't just like get up and walk away. And those emergency room hospital beds are not comfortable to me. So for this woman to be confined to all of these tools and hospital IVs and breathing machines, I can only imagine the discomfort. This is the result of that comfort of being able to be clouded in smoke and enjoy your day inside, thinking that you're doing something because you're not really smoking a cigarette. Well, yeah, the result of most of these vapors is the lady that you see on that bed. I wanted to show you a video of News 12 basically explaining CDC finding similar common things of cases with these vapors leading to death and illnesses.
So are researchers any closer to finding an exact cause? Team 12's Joe Dana joins us now in Studio 12A with the latest. Joe?
In fact, just today, the CDC announced a possible breakthrough, identifying what they call a strong culprit that may be to blame or at least partially to blame. It's a scene playing out in hospitals in Arizona and across the country. 17-year-old Tristan Zofeld of Texas hospitalized for vaping-related illness. Tristan was in a medically induced coma in August before he was stabilized. What's been so frustrating for doctors is not knowing why e-cigarettes cause such rapid deteriorating conditions in the lungs of some users.
It's obviously a rampant problem in our society now.
Dr. Brandon Larson is a surgical pathologist at the Mayo Clinic studying the lungs of vaping illness.
What we see with these vaping cases is a kind of severe chemical injury that I've never seen before in a tobacco smoker or a traditional marijuana smoker.
The CDC may now be a step closer to answers, announcing Friday they've pinpointed vitamin E acetate, a chemical sometimes used in THC and other vaping products, as one, if not the primary cause. The chemical tends to stick to the lungs' walls like honey. The CDC says more research is needed. The variety of brands of vaping liquids pose other risks.
One of the problems with vaping is that there's so many products and materials and substances in the market.
A recent test of several popular vaping liquids found most passed national standards, but one of them, Mango CBD, did not actually contain any CBD and did contain lead. In comparison to one state, California, that has a limit for lead in vaping products, Tests showed it was 800 times over the limit. The company could not be reached for comment.
So, as you can hear, they have found a common similarity in all these cases. And they said that that was vitamin E acetate. Vitamin E acetate. So vitamin E is okay on skin, hair, and even ingested, even digested when you eat those vitamins. But by smoking it, for some reason, it's harmful to the lungs. It is also, and it will be described in the article, they found that it sticks to the wall of the lungs like honey. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So why is this important to me, and why am I reporting on this? Because I vape, and because I've seen many people vape. So I had this other vapor. It was the bigger one, and it's the one that you put the oil in. What I noticed with that vapor that tore my throat, lungs, my respiratory system up was that when I put it in wrong, I actually had put the oil in the wrong way and went ahead and inhaled. It burned like hell, okay? It burned my throat, everything, and for like 10 seconds straight, I was burning. You could even smell the burn. It smelled like burned metal, really. So that alone let me know that that thing was dangerous. I do not use that anymore. It's kind of miraculous. I actually lost it. And I could have swore when I moved that I had it here. I looked everywhere and I could not find it. After that, that's when I started seeing on the news of the people dying for vapors. So it's kind of like good. I thank God that he kind of hid that from me. At least until I found the information. He got me the information of what's going on. So if I find it now, at least now I know that I'm responsible now, because now I know the information. Before I lost it, I didn't have this information. So as you heard, it's a chemical. What they're saying is that it's found, people are using CBD oil, and that is a common chemical that people are using. As a result, they are dying or severely sick, like you see this young lady here. According to The Verge, samples of lung fluid from 29 lung injury patients in 10 states all contain the same chemical, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said today. The discovery is a huge step forward for the ongoing investigation into the severe and mysterious lung injuries that have affected e-cigarette users across the country. A chemical called vitamin E acetate is now considered a chemical of concern by the CDC, which is investigating the outbreak. As of November 5th, 2019, 39 people have died of the injury and 2,051 cases are being investigated. When vitamin E acetate is inhaled, it may interfere with normal lung functioning. The agency says that vitamin E acetate is an oily substance found in a ton of typical household items, including food, supplements, and even skin creams. According to the CDC's website, vitamin E acetate usually does not cause harm when ingested as a vitamin supplement or applied to the skin. However, previous research suggests when vitamin E acetate is inhaled, it may interfere with normal lung functioning. Oil might be great for skincare, but when heated up, it can act almost like a grease. Chemistry professor Michelle Frankel told the Washington Post in September, as you might imagine, breathing in vaporized grease could seriously affect the lungs, though researchers are still trying to figure out the exact mechanism that's causing the lung damage. And investigators believe that the substance has been added to e-cigarette products as a thickener and is particularly attractive to people manufacturing illicit products because it resembles THC oil. THC is the substance in marijuana that provides a high. Vitamin E acetate was previously linked to the injuries in early September when some state agencies identified this substance in samples of vaping products that had been used by people who later came down with the disease. But finding it in products wasn't the same as finding it in the patients themselves. In this case, researchers looked at fluid taken from lungs of patients suffering from the injury. and found vitamin E acetate in every single sample. THC was found in 82% of the lung fluid samples, and nicotine was found in 62% of the samples, suggesting that the vast majority of patients were vaping THC products and that many were using both nicotine and THC products. So again, why is this important? Because you're going to see a lot of people at your jobs smoke vaping, not smoking, but vaping. I noticed at my job, it was a man that was vaping. He had the bigger one, and he had a lot of smoke like you see in this picture here, or aerosol. And he had told me that he put CD oil in his. Well, I will be careful or just refrain altogether. Matter of fact, these things are highly addictive. I am a cigarette smoker, and I noticed that I don't really smoke cigarettes. Yesterday, I didn't really smoke any cigarettes. I do more vaping, and I don't have the bigger one anymore. I have this smaller one, but at any, it doesn't matter. It's still a vapor product, and I still feel that this thing is dangerous. It is addictive, y'all. I'm not even going to lie. The whole thing about smoking, what I find is that you start wanting something to put in your mouth and inhale and exhale. So really, it's not even about the cigarette anymore. It's about the fact that you're pulling something and pushing it out of your mouth, and it could be felt as a satisfying or fulfilling, or just can be said to be a fix. So these vapor cigarettes are very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. The reason, again, for making this video is because there are young people that will try this, and they are going to use CBD oil in these vapor products. And that's harmful and dangerous. These people all are linked with using that. So pray for each other, because it's not easy to just put down cigarettes, put down anything. Anybody that's addicted to anything understands how hard it is to quit. It changes your lifestyle. It changes your life. It almost feels like it's a part of your body now, and you can't function without it. So, just wanted to educate y'all on something that I found to be helpful. Something that can give hope. At least they found something, Right? Take care.